so rich. They lived in the Subura, which was a neighborhood on the other side of the Roman Forum. That's why we have the word suburb from Subura. Was the poor class quarters. It was made out of houses, wooden houses. It burned down a lot. Absolute mayhem over there. Only the poorest guys lived there. Julius Caesar was born there. Even though he was from a noble family, his family was poor by that time. Legend has it that his family was descended directly from the goddess Venus. So, of course, that's true. Still. Okay, so Julius Caesar, born to a former rich family, born in poverty, he had only one way to go: military career. That was the only thing that would have saved him. Military
Who was his
career.
father?
What?
Was Augustus Caesar his father?
What?
Wasn't Augustus Caesar his father?
No.
Who was his father?
No one worth mentioning. His father was a nobleman from the house of Julia. Augustus Caesar was Octavian Augustus Caesar. He was one of his adopted sons that went on to rule after him, and he actually became the first emperor, but he was younger than Caesar.
But he wasn't any relation to Julius Caesar.
What?
He wasn't any relation to Julius.
Not by blood.
Not
by blood. He was actually younger than him. He could have been his father. Because Caesar died in 44 before Christ. Octavian Augustus became emperor in 29 before Christ. So a few years between them. Good. So Caesar was born to this poor family, former rich, went into a military career, and at that time when he went into a military career, it was military and law. It was the same. You are a lawyer or a general, the same thing. So he went into a military career, he succeeded in it, he was really good, so by the age he was 20, he started to be a nuisance for his superiors. He was really, really good at it, he had the population's support, he was a good general, a good lawyer, and as I told you, a general nuisance. So they tried to get rid of him. How do you get rid of a guy like that? You cannot kill him. He was, by that time, he was kind of a rock star. You cannot kill him because you'll have all the public support going. So, okay, go to Gaul. Go and conquer the Gauls, the guys that the Romans tried to conquer for about 100 years. Yeah, you go and do it. They sent him with a few legions, go there, die. They were sure he will die or fail and lose public support. Now, what they didn't plan on was the fact that Julius Caesar was an excellent tactician, an excellent general. He not only went there and didn't die, he conquered them really fast, in about time spread of a year. He conquered whole of Gaul. How he did that? Not by waging battle after battle after battle, because he had no chance. He had about 30,000 troops. No chance whatsoever to fight them in a standoff. He would have lost. He went through the heart of Gaul, bypassed all cities until he found the biggest city he could. He conquered it, locked himself inside, threw away the key, and waited for the Gauls to come to him because he had legionnaires. By that time, legionnaires were the best soldiers in the world. I mean, they had shields, they had tactics, they had spears, they had horses. The Gauls had slingshots. Okay? Numbers and slingshots. Not a good thing in a city. So, first the Gauls come at him with a 40,000 strong army, no problem, he defeats it. Then a 50,000 strong army, no problem, he defeats it. Then the Gauls send their last reserves at him with Vercingetorix, their king, in the front of a 20,000 army. He defeats that too, takes Vercingetorix as a prisoner and sets rules. Okay guys, are you still wanting to come at me? I'm gonna kill you, kill the last one of you. Let's talk peace. I'm not here to kill you, I'm here because I've been sent here. I don't want to be here, so I'm gonna put some basic rules. You become a Roman citizen just like me. You pay tax, I pay tax. Everybody pays tax in the Roman Empire, but I will defend your borders. I will give you hospitals. I will give you the first roads. I will give you culture. I will give you everything you need to do. Actually, the Romans were the first guys that invented public transportation. So he gave them a lot of things in return for those taxes and the thing that, yeah, I'm a Roman citizen, I'm no longer a Gaul, right? So at first they were suspicious about this, but in the time spent there, about a year, they started loving him. So when he came back, he didn't come back only alive, he came back incredibly rich and incredibly loved by the people. So he came back even a bigger nuisance than he left. So in the year 44 BC, he claimed himself as being dictator for life, and dictator at that time wasn't dictator like today, like, I don't know, Cuba dictator. No, dictator was kind of a mayor of Rome. Dictator was the guy that had all the responsibility of the Roman empires on his shoulder, but wasn't tyrannical about it, right? So he made himself dictator for life, after he set the triumvirate with Crassus and Pompey, Crassus, a great general loyal to the Senate, that's why he was in the triumvirate, and Pompey was an upstart politician from a rich family. Now, this triumvirate with Caesar, Crassus, and Pompey ruled over Rome for a pretty good time, good period in Rome. A lot of things were built, such as the 4 temples at Largo Argentino, the sacred area. If you go about a mile and a half that way, you will see the ruins of 4 temples, one to Mars, one to Jupiter, one to Venus, and another one to Saturn. So, over there. You know why they built it there? Because it was close to his house. Everybody has a reason behind what they do. Besides, the triumvirate prospered, a new golden age for the Roman Empire, until one day Crassus decided to get killed. In a battle in northern Africa, Crassus gets killed, the triumvirate is unbalanced, Pompey starts to lose ground to Caesar, Caesar became more ambitious, pushed and pushed and pushed. Pompey, without the backing of Crassus's armies, just started losing ground until Caesar said, "I'm dictator for life," year 44 BC. Of course, the senators wouldn't take that lightly, and a month later the guy was dead. Killed, stabbed 23 times by 23 different senators, one of them being his own son, Brutus. So now, does anyone know his famous last words?
Et tu, Brutus.
Exactly. Even you, Brutus, because he was one of his adopted sons and the guy stabbed him. And another thing this tells us is the Romans were always, we are fair, we are just, we have politics, we have justice, we have law. The guy got stabbed by 23 senators, right? The guys that should uphold the law stabbed him. That doesn't tell us anything else that the Romans are a bloody bunch. I've been telling you that all throughout the tour, because they are. After his death, the Roman Republic at that time, still not an empire, went into a total chaos for 17 years until Octavian Augustus became the first emperor and named himself Caesar Octavian Augustus, 29 before Christ, first emperor, one of the 6 Roman emperors that actually died in their bed without being killed, because he was good. He brought peace and prosperity and made a new golden age for Rome for a few generations, until the emperors got greedy, got godlike, and started disrespecting the people they owned, right? And with that, Caesar died. But where? Does anyone know where Caesar was killed?
Julius or Augustus?
Where?
Which one?
Julius Caesar.
The Forum.
In the Senate? Why?
Wasn't he in the Forum?
I was actually looking for that answer. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not true. It's not a true answer. And you know why? Everybody knows that he was killed on the steps of the Senate because of one guy. It's not your fault, madam. It's the fault of William Shakespeare.
I thought he was killed in the Forum.
Forum, Senate is the same thing. It's right in front. He wasn't killed there.
Where was he killed?
Okay, figure it this way. Julius Caesar was really popular, right? So trying to kill Julius Caesar on the Senate, in the Roman Forum, where all the Romans that loved him were, it was like trying to kill George Lucas at a Star Wars convention. Impossible, right? He was killed next to his house at Largo Argentino, at the sacred area, in the temples he built, because there was a temple to Mars. He lived nearby, so every morning he went without his escort, without his legionnaires protecting him. He went alone to the temple to Mars. He was still a military man to pray to Mars. So they killed him on the steps of the Temple of Mars in Largo Argentino, not in the Forum. But the reason why Shakespeare killed him in the Senate is that all his play, Julius Caesar play, is based all around the Senate, right? So for 5 lines at the end of the play, no reason to invest in another set. So, okay, let's kill him in the Senate. So he killed him in the Senate.
Talk about poetic license.
So basically, that kind of concludes our tour. I'm so happy most of you guys made it up this far. I hope I didn't completely bore you. This is a free tour, so hugs or tips are welcome if you want. But another reason why I stopped you here is probably some of you have been to the Vatican. For the others, probably not. Okay? If you haven't been to the Vatican, I just want to give you a bit of a heads up what to see there. We are doing tours in the Vatican. If you're